Good morning and welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to go over the FP plans. Basically, I've been receiving a lot of emails. Wanted to go over these FP plans when getting started with JanPro, and talk about the reasons why we chose the smallest tier. We chose the smallest tier with JanPro simply because we didn't know much about the business and we didn't want to invest a lot of money into something that we thought was may not work out for us. So we chose the smallest plan, and then it made sense. It made sense to get started with a franchise at the lowest level, and working our way up. Just to cover our tracks, if we decided to not pursue JanPro, then we wouldn't be out of a ton of money. And also, our master franchise owner pretty much told us, hey, if you do well with these contracts, we'll offer you more contracts, and that's less money on you. You could use that money, the lump sum money that you have, to invest in payroll and, staffing and stuff of that nature, equipment, paying off debt, things of that nature. So it made sense for us to get started at the smallest tier, which was the FP5 plan. Now, the FP5 plan can be paid in full, which the full payment will be $25.20. Or you could finance that, over a course of 12 months, which is $950 down plus monthly fee of whatever the amount that your master franchise owner set up. So basically, you put $950 down, you'll still have $1,850 as your balance that you're going to be carrying. I would suggest that you carry a balance for this small amount of contract. I would suggest that you pay it outright. That way, at the end of the day, you're still receiving $416.67 a month, free of debt. And the only thing you have to pay is your 20% franchise fee. That's what we thought about when we got started with JanPro. We wanted to not carry a lot of debt because we wanted to build our cash flow up so we could hire, more contractors to get started with JanPro. That way we can, after 12 months, we can step away and have a cash flowing business. So we could pretty much just manage the business. So when we got started, we paid that $25.20 outright. Our first contract was not $416. Our first contract was a little over $600, which then we owed another balance because we went above the $416.67 that JanPro was required to give us. So we had to pay that amount, that $200 additional off, which was a multiplier of 4. So basically we owed another additional $800 on the contract, which we paid that also in full. So we could receive that first contract of $600 a month, less the 20% finance charges. And that's what we suggest that you guys do. I can't tell you how to manage how to run your business. I'm just telling you how we looked at things as far as dealing with debt. JanPro will offer you contracts. If you do a good job on that first contract, they'll continue to offer you more contracts. You don't have to literally come out of your pocket with anything. You could just use what they call sweat equity to pay those, to finance those contracts and to pay them over terms, which we never went over 12 months of financing because we don't like debt. We don't like to carry a lot of debt. So basically, when you're looking at these contracts, you always have to pay attention to what kind of debt you're going to be doing. So when we analyze a contract, if they offer us a $2,000 contract, then we look at, what is that going to do? What is the revenue going to look like after we pay contractors, after we pay finance charges, after we pay multipliers, and we look at, we'll touch on a little bit more in detail on contracts. I'll go back over contracts and how we analyze contracts to make sure that we're getting a good contract. I'll go over that in the next video coming up. But today I just want to go over the FP plans. Me personally, you have FP5, and then it goes all the way up to like your FP, I believe 40 plan, and FP40 I think it costs you out of pocket like 40 grand if you want to pay for the FP200. I'm sorry, the FP200, and that gives you $16,000 a month in revenue and $200,000 a year. Now, I would not suggest that you guys buy plans like that because, for one, you don't know if you're gonna, don't know if you're gonna like JanPro. You don't know if you're gonna do well with JanPro. So I wouldn't suggest that you would invest a whole lot of money, because a lot of people I've talked with invested a lot of money in these contracts, and then they only last 6 months. So they were not able to recoup the money that they invested back because they quit. So I would suggest that you do that. I would suggest that invest only what you're willing to lose if you decide to walk away. Like I said, me and my wife, we started at the bottom, the first tier, which was the FP5, and that was comfortable for us to get started. But then within 12 months, we were over 6 figures as far as contracts billed. So we were billing over 6 figures after 12 months. And then after 24 months, we were billing over 250,000 worth of billing. And I think at our peak, we were doing over 300,000 worth of billing with JanPro. But we always started small. We did not carry a whole lot of debt, because if you carry a lot of debt, a lot of people get themselves in trouble by carrying a lot of debt, and they'll pretty much be working the business, but they won't see anything because they're carrying so much debt. So they're paying JanPro out of their pocket with finance charges, the 10% finance fees, and franchise fees on top of that. So it kind of discouraging, because you don't see your money, because you're having to carry this debt until you can pay that debt off. And like any kind of debt, if you carry a lot of debt, it can consume you and drown you if you're not responsible with your debt. So be mindful of that when getting started. So like I said, we started with the smallest contract, which was 2520, paid it outright. They offered us another contract. It was kind of small as well. We paid that cash as well. We paid it outright. And we continue to pay those small contracts outright if we had the cash to do so, because we didn't want to carry the debt. Now, the larger contracts that we received, the $3,000 a month, the $4,000 a month, $5,000 a month contracts, we financed those. So we used our sweat equity. So those contracts, if they were $3,000 a month, meaning that we carried a $9,000 note on that, then we would finance it over a course of 12 months. With that $3,000, you couldn't afford to finance it if your numbers work for you. So meaning that you not only did your man hours work out, but the numbers, once you paid the monthly note, the 10% charge, and the finance charge on top of your contract, your payroll expense, if you still netted yourself $500 to $1,000 a month, then we took the contract. So that's how we analyze that. We want to always look at our man hours, how many hours we're going to actually be in there physically doing a job. Look at the monthly revenue, whatever we're bringing in, subtract any kind of debt service over a course of 12 months, and the 10% down payment, the 10% finance charge on top of that debt, and also the finance fees. We subtract all of that, and if we're still profiting $500 to $1,000, we're doing good. That's strictly on larger contracts. On smaller contracts, we want to profit at least $300 on a smaller contract. But you always want to add yourself in. If you're working the business, you want to add yourself in as your payroll costs, because you got to pay yourself to work those contracts. And then outside of that, you still want to have a positive cash flow. So I'm hoping that this video helps you guys out. I know you guys will still have more questions. If you do have more questions, just leave the questions in the comment below, and we'll reach back out to you. But going forward, the next videos we'll be talking about, we'll be going into detail on contracts. How do we analyze contracts, the man hours? How do we put things together? How do we make those numbers work for us? And then we'll go over multipliers as well. So we just wanted to stop in and show you what we're looking at when we got started with JanPro, just to make, show you the numbers so it can make more sense to you guys. If you guys have any other contracts, like I said, please reach out to us. I want you guys to like this video, share this video with anybody that want to get started with JanPro. And then we got some special things coming up that we want to, we want to build some content, and we want to get you guys going in the right direction with JanPro. We're here to help as many people succeed with JanPro. So JanPro is only a tool that we use, but if you use this tool correctly, it could take you to the next level in life. It could take you to the next level with investing. So definitely, we want to help as many people as we can get on the right track and stay on the right track, and not get discouraged with the business, because it can get discouraging if you're not doing it properly. So like I said, once again, just like this video, share this video, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks.